welcome to the match between Steel Jaguar Gaming and Russian Death Legion. This is a Week 7 match between these two teams. Currently, Steel Jaguar is 6-0, and Russian Death Legion is 2 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses. Alright, here we go. As you can see, SJR opted for 4 Highlanders, 3 Shadowhawks, a Raven, and 4 Jenners. Now, the Raven's going to provide some stealth abilities, but it's also going to provide a little bit other options. It doesn't have the jump jets like the Jenner, but it has the high mounted weapons, allow it to shoot over hills very effectively without taking return fire. Crimson Strait is a difficult map. Talked about it last time, whether or not teams will go past, or they'll try the underground area, or maybe even a wide water route while defending base. We will see. I am getting some lag from the source stream right now. That is not something that I can deal with. Alright, so SJR has set up mostly over by the pass, whereas they have their lights up on the hill as well as checking the backside. This is the first drop in a best of 5 match. Some contacts there. Looks like Russian Death Legion has set up a few mechs near the pass, but also they have several mechs pushing on the right side. But SJR with its 5 lights shouldn't have much trouble handling that, as there's not too many targets showing up. We're watching through Exothermic's view, and he has an RD drop. There is some engagement with those lights right now, as you see upper right hand corner there. The Jenner is taking some leg damage, the CT damage. Russian Death Legion's Jenner opting for the 5 medium laser setup. Otherwise, this being a very quiet game from the heavy mechs. SJR has to be wondering exactly where Russian Death Legion's heavies and assaults are at the moment. Are they going to push as well with the Jenners and try to come out the backside? And it forces SJR to return to their base, but SJR gets a first kill up with the lights. That can be very significant on this map, because now RDL has to be really cautious about how they're going to move. They can't do base push as easily with the lights now. To threaten SJR, they might pull them back, but they have to be wary as well, because SJR with the lights advantage could try to strike at RDL's base and try to force RDL to have to send everything back to defend it, since they won't have the numbers with their lights to defend against SJR most likely, which means that SJR would be able to push up over the pass and join in the assault and hopefully pick off some back armor on the heavier mechs from Russian Death Legion. But here you see the heavy mechs are returning back towards the SJR base side. It looks like the RDL has pushed either around the left corner or through the underground passage with their heavier mechs. But SJR now is up 2-0, and it looks like it was another light kill. RCR up now 3-0. You see RDL has a Centurion there with a 2 medium laser SRM6, cored another Centurion, completely cored out. They opted with the non-Artemis Centurions, which will provide a little bit more heat efficient, but the spread reduces the ability for it to hit single sections on mechs. I do apologize for this lag. Again, that's coming from the source stream. It's not on my end. But hopefully it's a much clearer picture for you than last time. Alright, SJR up now with 5060. This is going quickly bad for RDL. SJR up now 7-0. And they went for the DDCs. They had a full brawl setup, very difficult to do on this map. But RDL gets a kill against Harry. That's one heavy assault mech down. SJR up now 8-1. They should be able to quickly wrap up the rest of these kills 9-1. This mech Centurion's about to go down as well, which will make it 10-1 with only 2 mechs left for RDL. And that'll finish off the first match with SJR taking it 12-1. See the results screen so we can see exactly what type of setup that RDL went with. As it was difficult to tell, then we saw some DDCs and Sense. They might have opted for a few lights and just tried for a heavy brawl push. They went with 4 lights, 4 Sense, 2 DCs, and 2 Victors. Not sure what's on the Victors. You can take a standard brawl setup like AC-20 SRMs. You could go with 2 large, 2 SRMs. A few different options there. And we'll waiting now for the second drop to start. Hopefully teams won't take too long in between to get things going. Alright, so SJR with 4, 5 Jenner Ds, 3 Sense, 2 Shadowhawks, a 4P, and a Kentaro. It's a fairly good mix there. The 4Ps, you might be thinking, okay, 4P, it's going to be medium lasers, and it might run hot here, but really the 4P is fairly efficient with a big, once they added that 275 engine possibility, it added a lot to how that mech plays. Again, like I talked about, the Jenner D is what they opted for the streaks. As you can tell with the pings, Russians a little bit higher pings, so they're probably thinking that that'll help against that. Though these pings are fairly similar. So you don't have too much of a issue with doing damage either side. As for the other spots in the NA, that's still up. It's not quite clear how that's going to turn out. Alright, SJR is moving out. See if they're going to set up near the pass and wait. They're probably right now they're just going to try to figure out where RDL's at. This map, as I was talking about, and we won't see a cap. Well, who knows on this map? There's so many ways you can just slip past the enemy, especially if you have some ECM to provide your team some cloaking. And I apologize for the lag that's happening here. I was testing it out earlier and didn't have any lag from the source, but so hopefully it's just maybe it's just EXO's issue. But I'll check when I get my saved file version, and if it's a cleaner version, I'll upload that to YouTube. I wasn't able to clean up the version from last time, so that version is just gonna have to be ugly if people want to watch it. But I think we might be able to upload the actual match files without the shoutcasting, so people can see that. And they could always just sync up on their own, play the volume on the cast while watching the matches if they would enjoy it. All right, so they did see a little bit of contact there. Fortunately, with this lag, it's really hard to follow. But all right, so significant amount of damage on that Centurion already. Crit right leg, left leg gone, about to drop from these Jenner fires. And SJR gets up early 1-0. And you see all of this is just going to be a full out brawl now with all these mechs here. Hopefully, both teams have their mechs in the right position. If there's any delay in getting the mechs there, that could cause a team to have a big advantage, and RDL gets up, ties it up at 1-all, taking down one of the Shadowhawks. I'm not sure exactly what setup SJR is going with the Shadowhawks just yet, but we will see. See if it plays in favor, if the heat management is good on this map, and RDL is now up 2-1. But here's a crit leg sent, nearly dead, and then it ties it up 2-all. Now SJR is clearly going after the legs on the Centurions, one of the quickest ways to take them down, so you don't have to try. The Centurion is known as a very good zombie. It's hard to finish off. You see an RD drop coming down there. That's a really dangerous place. But an RD drop when everyone's running around on both teams. But SJR goes up now 3-2. Both teams will probably be just trying to focus, trying to figure out who's the called target, to stay on that called target. Now the Raven on SJR will provide some advantages, in that it'll provide a little bit of stealth, except these teams, if they have the Gen or Ds, they might have enough BAP that it won't be an issue. Ice Bank taking out 2 people, including a teammate. However, SJR is up now 5-2. And you see another crit sent here, right leg crit on that one. Once the sense leg, you might get an ammo explosion on there. That's what you're kind of hoping for, but also, they're pretty much standing still. It takes a long time. Oh, death there. Overheating. That's the risk of. It's a huge risk of overriding the shutdown. It's really easy just to blow up on the Jenner, whether it's a headshot or an ammo explosion. Especially with those streaks, really risky to do. And the 4P here with only 2 medium lasers left. SJR up 7-4, but it should probably be closer. It should be 7-5 based on the suicide. Now 9-4. You do not want to be shutting down at all in these lighter ton drops too. It's way too easy of a target. So that's why you do use the override how it's best. Just to, you don't have to be hovering at 100%. You don't have to maximize your DPS. Sometimes it's better just to play safer and just hang around the 80% mark, especially with any lag that might cause you to suddenly shut down. But here we go. We got 9-6 now, 10-6. Only 2 mechs left for RDL, and likely we have probably 5 mechs left for SJR. There's a team kill too, so maybe just 4 mechs left for SJR. Alright, that Jenner's missing half its weapons, has a crit legs, crit center torso, should go down fairly quickly, but yeah, here's the 2 Jenners with the streaks are going to help out here just to finish this off. 1 mech left for RDL, and SJR should be going up 2-0 in this match. But it was a well-fought match and very close. And there's finishes Ice Bank with the final kill. SJR wins 12-6, but as I said, there was a suicide and a team kill, so it was close. 12-8 technically. Alright, here we go. SJR up 2-0. Best of 5, 620 tons on Forest Colony. SJR moving out. Here we go with 2 Highlanders, several cents, and Jenners. The Forest Colony, their teams have they could set up around arches, see if the other team wants to push around towards base. They could go water push either side. SJR's Jenner's moving out into the water to scout out where Russian Death Legion is coming from, while most of their other scents appear to be going towards the arches, set up, be prepared for a cave brawl push, or it's a nice setup position where you're out of the fire range and you can move down in towards the Com Tower Hill if you want to do a push. With the Highlanders pushing up the middle, it's a little bit of a risky position depending on how quickly Russian Death Legion sets up their heavies. If they get up on that Com Tower, it's quite blurry up there, hard to see, easily return fire. But you saw some PBCs coming from the left side, back in the left towards the setup area from Russian Death Legion. We'll see once we get some targets up here what kind of mechs Russian Death Legion has set themselves up with. But again, SJR set up with Highlanders, Scents, and Genders. SJR pushing up fairly aggressively towards Tower Hill. This hill we like to call Pride Rock. It's a nice spot to set up from. It really condenses the space that RDL now has to work with. RDL cannot push up to this position without walking into mostly a firing line, whereas SJR now has a few options. They can either go up towards Mining Colony Assault from that way. They could push around that hill towards where Charlie's at. Let's see, there's a Highlander, and they dropped an RD strike on that area. I don't know if that's going to actually hit anybody. And they're starting to push up even more. You can't. The only problem with the sense here, with these slopes, you can't really push back down from Tower Hill. You can't climb up it and drop down. They must have seen something here. All right. All right, we're gonna have a tight cluster of a fight here, close quarters with all these buildings. It's gonna be a very tough fight not to be doing. You don't want to do too much team damage here because people will be going in your way. Hard to focus when you can't even zero in on mechs because the buildings are provided just enough height where a lot of the Highlander shots will go right into them. Who can shield? It's important to be shielding at this time as much as you can, even though you have mechs all over you. SJR up early 1-0, but this is gonna be a full fight, so it's gonna be over by the 11-minute mark most likely, at least be fairly determined by then. SJR focusing on the Highlanders, the crit rear torso as well as a crit legged him. Doyle suicides on himself somehow, but gets the kill in the process. But it's now tied up 2-all with that suicide. It could very well be a 3-all match at the moment as Steel Jaguar gets another kill. This close quarters fight, it really can go to who has the better configs set up for this type of a fight. It's a risky area to be combating in. 4-all now, but again, 5-4, probably a 5-all match. Very close to the victors. They went the large lasers, Ultra AC5s, the hot config, but it can put out a lot of damage, mostly relying on the Ultra ACs at this range because the large lasers will just be too hot. 5-all match, very tight here with the suicide probably. It's probably they're probably about 1 kill, maybe up by 2 kills now. Russian Death Legion using this close quarter area where SJR poured into, and they had a little bit better lineup there, able to return that fire. 6-all. Again, staying very tightly here, trading off kills. Neither team getting quite a big edge, but there you go. 2 quick kills from Alex Lich, taking down Frost Pendragon and Worm, and RDL is now up by 2 to 3 kills. You see an RD drop going down there. Could be for one of the SJR players, seeing that they're still in a cluster, take them down. Decay Centurion, crit CT, easy target to finish off, but he still has all his weapons, could do a lot of damage. Don't want to do too much of a risk, but SJR does manage to take down. Looks like they're going to take down this Kintaro, with getting a little bit closer of a match here. Only 4 mechs left for SJR. Can they take down these mechs? Can they take down this Kintaro? Can they not take too much more damage from the streaks and the sense? You do not want to be shutting down, especially again in this area. That's a really brutal area. But there you go. SJR up now by a kill. Injured mechs. There's another injured mech down. 10-8. SJR might be able to clean it up here. It looks like they've turned the tides and they're going to take it. But we'll have to see how this turns out. A fairly fresh mech by Elto should allow him to stay ahead and start trying to become the main target, so the other mechs more injured mechs continue to fire without getting killed. But Alpha's nearly down Jenner, and that Centurion is crit as well. So it looks like SJR now up. One last kill to do. There you go. SJR comes back in that match and finishes it off with a 3-0 victory against Russian Death Legion in a good old Thunderdome fight in the Mining Colony area. Not a popular area to fight in, but that's just where they kind of ended up. SJR must have felt like there was some advantage in pushing that area. Maybe they didn't see quite the numbers there. Maybe they just felt like, hey, we got the big lot of sense and we feel like we can push into RDL and do so, but RDL was set up fairly well, was able to do a lot of damage in trade, and it ended up in a very tight match. Congrats to SJR EU on winning 3-0 in this finals match. Finals match, not a finals match. Omega Spectre asked if the Reddit rating takes account the rating of the teams played. Yes, it takes into account that rating. It's based on, it uses the ELO formula. So it's based on your rating and their rating. For example, if a high rating team plays a low rating team and wins, they're probably not going to get any points boost if it's over about 300 points. I'm not an expert on the rating system, so I don't know how exactly what it is, but it's around 300 rating or 400 where you don't get any adjustment. But you might, for example, you'll get a pretty big adjustment if you're fairly close, but the farther apart you are, the less adjustment that you'll get. But that works the other way around too. For example, if you're a 1500 rating team, you're playing an 1800 rating team, and you lose, you're probably only going to lose a couple points. All right, SJR again finished off against Russian Death Legion with 3-0 victory. But as you saw, there was 2 matches there that was extremely close and could have gone to either team. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to stop the cast now, as this one did drag on a little bit longer than we expected due to the missed syncs. But SJR does have a match tomorrow as well, and I'll be casting that. Any teams, it's open to. If you want a match casted, just ask me if I can do it. I will. If it's during one of our practice times, I might not be able to. Or if I have work going on, I can't as well if it's during the day. But just let me know and we'll try to work around it. We have some other people in SJR that are open to casting, and there's some other people in the community who want to be casting too. So we can send out a request and see if any of those people want to pick up the cast. I appreciate everyone that tuned in, and if you have any questions, I'll hang out and chat for a little while. Thanks.